So tell me the truth, are you panicking? Why, you mean because the entire cryptocurrency market is plummeting? No, not about that. About the other thing. Oh, that. Well, how is it going, guys? My name is Davies. Welcome back to another video. As you guys all no doubt are aware, this is a very trying time for those of us living in Taiwan. I'm not even sure if people, my friends and family back home are aware of what's going on, but for those of you who don't know, over the past week or so, there has been a massive uptake in COVID-19 cases in Taiwan all across the island, mostly centered up in the north in Taipei City and New Taipei City, but unfortunately there have been cases that have trickled down into Taichung, Tainan, Kaohsiung. The difference between this new spike of cases and, the little spikes that we've had in the past is, unfortunately, it looks like COVID-19 has achieved local transmission status, which means it is out there, it's in the community, and some of the cases they're able to tie to several events up in the north, various hotel quarantine incidents, some incidents at tea houses, I think the Lions Club, but there are some cases where they're not entirely sure where it came from, and that is the troubling part. So am I worried? That's what this video is going to be about. What are my thoughts on the matter? Should you be worried? Should I be worried? Should my parents, my friends and family back home be worried about me and my friends living here in Taiwan? So that's what I want to tackle today. So let's just jump into the computer here and we'll take a look at exactly what's going on around the island, and we'll particularly focus on what's going on in the news. So here we are, you type in Taiwan COVID into the news, and keep in mind I am filming this on a Thursday, so I'm not sure when this video will come out, but probably in a few days from now. Here we go, top stories. Taiwan reports 267 local COVID cases. Now that is a massive uptick from what we used to have, 3 or 4 a day. That would be a bad day. Usually 100% of those would have been imported cases, so cases that got caught at the airport, screening tests, or in the quarantine hotels. So obviously 267 is not a good number. Yeah, this is not looking great. 37 students in Taiwan reported with COVID on Tuesday. As of right now, all of the schools in Taiwan are closed from May 19th to May 28th. I actually taught a class on May 18th, so the last day before the lockdown started. I think this is a really good move by the central government because schools, unfortunately, are very high-risk areas. You have a lot of people coming in to small classrooms together from all different parts of the city. So definitely, I really think this is a positive move. This is the right move here to close the schools for, a week and a half, something like that. This is nationwide from preschool to high school, all the way into private schools and bushy bands. So running down the list here, Taiwan is setting up rapid testing sites, mostly up in Taipei in the COVID-19 hotspots. So again, this is I think a very good move. You need to know what's out there, who's got the disease, who's carrying it, and the more testing we can do, obviously, the better. So right now, we have just been moved to a level 3 alert all across Taiwan. So again, I think this is a very good move, a proactive move that the government has taken. Level 3 COVID-19 alert introduced across the entire island of Taiwan. And obviously, there are 4 levels. 3 is the second highest. So what this means for us living in Taiwan is that people are now required to wear masks at all times whenever they leave their homes. Typically before, we would wear masks whenever inside, especially 7-Elevens, convenience stores, places like that with high traffic. I would always put on my mask. So I think this is really going to help. Indoor gatherings of more than 5 people are not allowed, and outdoor gatherings are limited to 10 people. Level 3 alert all across Taiwan. This is a very good move. Now, one thing I really did want to touch on is I've made a ton of videos about this in the past, about how well Taiwan has done over the past, year and a half, ever since COVID-19 started spreading across the world. Taiwan was, routinely held up as sort of the beacon and the pinnacle of, one of the countries that handled this thing the absolute best in the entire international community. Taiwan, we all prided ourselves on how well Taiwan was doing. We looked at all these lockdowns and restrictions and quarantines that people had to do back home, and a lot of the time we looked at that and we said, aren't we lucky that we're living in Taiwan? And despite all of the things that have been happening recently, I still believe that we were very lucky to be living in Taiwan, and I'll tell you why. First, I just wanted to take a look at the international news coverage. Things like this article here: Taiwan was a COVID success story, now it's fighting its biggest outbreak. This was reported by CNN. So obviously this is getting picked up internationally. I think mostly because of the contrast, you know, Taiwan was a safe haven. COVID-19 didn't exist on the island except for a few imported cases, and now we're in a little bit of trouble. The news likes to report sensational stories like this. But this all being said, I really do believe that we're still not in a bad shape, and let me just explain. This picture in particular I wanted to talk about because it's quite well known that COVID-19 doesn't really spread outdoors very easily, but Taiwan is such a careful country that even in the middle of the day they'll send out trucks with people wearing the hazmat suits, literally disinfecting the streets. I'm not sure that you would see that back home in Canada or United States or really anywhere in the world. And this just proves exactly how careful Taiwan is and how seriously the central government is taking this new threat. So I just wanted to quickly look at this page here. This is the World-O-Meter. This is one of the places where I get a lot of my COVID-19 data. So you can see here in Taiwan, we have now 2,533 cases. This has obviously gone up dramatically in the past week. I think for, you know, the longest time we were well below 1,000 cases. You can see where we were for this whole time, just very, very slowly uptake in cases. I think you just need to remember that most of these, if not all of them, were actually imported cases. And then suddenly you have May 10th. Obviously we've suddenly reached exponential growth on this problem here, and the active cases in Taiwan obviously coincides with the recent spike in cases. And here I just wanted to finish off by sort of talking about why I'm not too worried. Obviously this is a very serious situation and I am worried, and I really hope and pray that everybody stays safe and, you know, we get this under control. But I really do believe that if this was going to happen to any country, Taiwan is one of those countries that can absolutely handle it. I mean, just when this all started a week ago, everything changed. You could tell people were all wearing masks on the street, even if they weren't required to. At 7-Eleven and restaurants, the past 4, 5, 6 days, you're now required to write your name, cell phone number, the time of day, the date, all of that, so that they can accurately contact trace exactly where you were. So if there was an outbreak in your local area, they would easily be able to track you and contact you if there was a problem and ask you to either go into quarantine or self-isolate at home. So just immediately, once this problem presented itself, Taiwan was very quick to start making new guidelines, raising the COVID alert level, and just making sure that everybody on the entire island took this seriously and tried to stay as safe as possible, not only to avoid getting the virus yourself, but also to prevent the transmission of the virus. The reason I'm not as worried as it seems like I should be is just because I'm really confident in the central government of Taiwan. All through this entire pandemic, I believe that they've been making, for the most part, all of the right decisions. They cracked down right away as early as January 2020. This was a safe place to be. It almost seemed like COVID didn't exist here, and I think that's all thanks to the central government and the CDC here in Taiwan and the smart decisions that they've made along the way. The only thing that I think my friends and I were worried about was a few weeks ago when they actually changed the quarantine for China airline pilots down from 5 days to I think 3 days, and then suddenly that's kind of when COVID escaped into Taiwan. So I do actually remember sitting around with my friends wondering if that was a good idea, because we do know that this virus is transmissible sometimes for a couple of days before you even start to see symptoms. So if I could knock any of the decisions that have been made so far, it just might be that one, lowering the quarantine days for pilots. And obviously, now that we have this new problem, China Airlines faces stricter measures. So some of these long-haul flight crews will actually need to quarantine for a full 14 days, and I absolutely think that's the right decision. I really do think that we're gonna get this under control. I am very optimistic about our chances of combating the virus. If there is any country that can do it, it is Taiwan. I would not really be surprised at all if the whole island kind of does a voluntary lockdown for the next couple of weeks, and we do see those cases slowly tick down per day until we're back to, you know, a reasonable amount, and then hopefully down to 0. I know everyone's very worried about this, and they are taking this seriously. I don't really think there's any people in Taiwan who are anti-maskers or anti-vaxxers. I don't really think that culture exists here, thank goodness. So I really just do think that the people of Taiwan are going to come together. We're going to take this seriously. We're going to follow the rules, follow the guidelines. We're going to listen to the government, listen to the CDC, and within a few weeks, we're going to get this under control. I am taking this very seriously. I am worried, but I'm not panicking. So that's where my 2 cents lay. Those are my thoughts on the matter. What do you guys think? Please let me know down in the comments. I know Taipei is in a little bit of trouble, so I really hope all my friends up north are staying safe and staying healthy. And for those of us living in the south where the threat isn't as imminent, what are you guys doing just to be as safe as possible? Are you staying inside? Are you avoiding the shops, the stores, the restaurants? Definitely for me, I'm not gonna take any unnecessary risks, and I really think that everyone shares that same mindset. I think we're just all gonna be as safe as we can, and we're gonna trust the government, and as I said, I really think we're gonna get this under control. So stay safe, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to let me know down in the comments how this is affecting your life, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.